it's hard to imagine what could stop them other than themselves now.
Yeah, I just love how they could pass the torch to any player. We saw last year the TI finals, Seb carrying game 4, Ana carried game 2, Thompson carried game 1 here.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. The strategies they have, some teams have kind of focused on one player being the all-star, but they just throw it in the hands of whoever is appropriate to carry that specific game.
The best part for me is the storyline that continues as they move farther. They're going to match up against either Evil Geniuses, oh, that's a spicy one, or Team Secret.
Please, you're making me too excited. Things need to be, we need to be rescued. Casey, help us out, please. Who have you got over there?
I have Seb. Seb! Is that old now? Like, I should find something new.
No, I don't think it's old.
No?
Like, I'm still enjoying it, actually.
I was really proud of myself. I'm gonna seem pretty cool here, and then I thought,
No,
no,
you are really cool right now.
Well,
You're being the coolest.
Thank you, Seb.
Yes, you're welcome.
There is such a sense of comfort that it looks like you have. Like, you seem so comfortable as a team playing on the TI stage. We don't actually tend to see that with returning TI champs. A lot of times people come back and the pressure to repeat gets to be too much. How have you been able to kind of keep your wits about you as a team?
I mean, it's kind of like home sweet home kind of thing. I think it's the most comfortable place, this booth, like on the TI main stage, where we feel the best. We don't feel as comfortable in scrims. We don't feel as comfortable in other tournaments. I don't know. It's just, we had such memorable experiences in this setup. Like, you know, just the 5, the 6 of us. Like, it feels good. Like, once we're sitting there, we're like, finally, we're back here. You know, let's just play some OG Dota. It's nice.
You've said in interviews with me and with other people before that you have such a trust of each other as teammates and that that's what helps you stay in the moment. How have you found that to be working for you here at TI?
I mean, my teammates are the best in the world in every of their positions. So it's more than trust. Like, I have trust for them as teammates, but also as like human beings. I would trust them. Teammates, but also as like human beings, I would trust them. We just trust each other. We just close to each other. So now we know that we're gonna face adversity when it comes to this tournament. That it's gonna be a very rough couple of weeks, and yeah. So then we're ready. This is when you need your friends close to you, and you have to be close to them, and that's what's happening.
And you have definitely been keeping people guessing. So I want to ask you more about that, but hopefully we'll have another chance to later. So best of luck to you guys.
Thank you very much.
We'll talk to you later, Seb. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much. Yes, Seb there with Casey. We're just going to quickly wrap things up. Just a couple of words to summarize that last game, Cap.
OG just looking dominant, and as Casey pointed out, they look very comfortable doing so. The nerves just do not seem to shake them, and TI is the place where everyone gets shaken up.
Final thoughts, bro?
Yeah, a couple words. Just ban IO, ban Mag, ban Amber, ban Monkey King, ban as many heroes as you can. Yeah.
Each time, Brian.
I just say Clinic. Like, Newbie's a good team. They didn't look like it.
No, they did. They got made to look very ordinary, didn't they?
Yep.
Thanks very much, gents. Also, thanks to our draft panel. Time for us to move on here. I'm done for today, by the way. That was a very quick day for me. But you'll be in the capable hands of Rich when we come back. First of all, let's catch up with Sir Action Slacks, though, who's with a favourite part of my entire TI experience, the film contest, man.
Yes. Red Eye, it is film contest time. And I know international, it's all about the Dota on the stage, the game. But this is my favorite part. This is about the community. This is a celebration of all of us coming together. So many unique videos coming out this year. We had SFM, live action. We had just everything, claymation. But today, we're going to find out our winners of this year's short film contest. So we're going to walk you through all of our top 10 finalists. And by the end of the day, you'll know who takes that cash home. But for the first batch, we have 3 videos for you. Very fantastic animated features, which each have their own style. So sit back, relax, and enjoy what our fantastic community has made for us this year. Take a look.
axe here. Come to axe. Catch this tide. Hey, to me. Time to feed. Axe flies. Side by side. Yes.
Meatball, meatball.
Yes.
Meatball.
Ooh. Axe like.
Tide hunter, more like dead hunter.
I'll have my vengeance yet. Conquer! Conquer!
And man, no surprise those guys are finalists. The animation was amazing, and I cannot wait to see what else has made it to our top 10. But I'm more interested in your opinion over there, panel. We got a new one with Rich. Boys, what was your favorite short film contest this year?
I actually almost cried when the courier got shot with that arrow. I almost cried there. It was a big moment for me, but we definitely did enjoy them here. We got a brand new panel to start off this next series. And guys, this is one of the series that I think we're probably the most excited for today. We have two Rockstar teams about to go head-to-head. We're going to have EG and we're going to have Secret. What do you think of this matchup?
I mean, it's the two big names right from the two big regions. This is what a lot of the viewers are going to be staying up for, you know, watching at some ungodly hour in America for this. Secret versus EG.
Yep.
And what's going to happen? EG, looking a bit shaky in the groups, but you got to remember, this team, if you look at sort of the TI progress, it's pretty good. Last year, they came third. So who's not to say that they're going to be able to push it and make that upper bracket run? Sure, Secret looked flawless in the group stage, but in the past, we've seen a flawless group stage from Secret turn into not so great results on the main stage.
Yeah, and I look back at probably my favorite series of like all year was the MDL Major Secret versus EG, I believe in was it upper bracket finals, I believe, and it was a 3-game series.
Yes,
it was just an absolutely amazing series, and I hope we get another one.
Yeah, definitely. And I know today, I actually got to see EG arrive to the venue. We were all kind of getting here when they did. They were in the bus. They were getting riled up. I actually got a little bit of insight into their ritual to get ready. Sumail was blasting Danger Zone. Arteezy was actually, he had his headphones on, and everybody started yelling at him to get his headphones off. Somebody said, hey, let's let Arteezy get in the zone. And Sumail said, there's only one zone, the Danger Zone.
Did that actually happen?
That actually happened. Yeah, that actually happened.
That doesn't sound like a Sumail thing to do.
Sumail, I asked Sumail in the interview after. The question is, do you think it's going to be a winner's interview, or do you think we're actually going to see Sumail maybe having one of those losers' interviews?
I think it's going to be a 3-game series at the minimum. Obviously, a lot of people are leaning Secret, especially how they did in the group stage. Yeah. But Secret always looks good. For pretty much ever since the organization has existed, they've always been good coming into TI. And then the best they've ever done is 5th/6th last year. And you'd think that a team that has such consistent performance over the year would be able to have a better showing at TI, but it just never seems to happen.
I also do want to say, when we look at both of these squads, we have some potential to have 2-time champs, right? And there are not many people, some of them, who actually could go for that 2-time. They were knocked out of the tournament already, but now we need to actually take a look at some of these teams who are going to get thrown in to the Danger Zone. Evil geniuses are now ready to take the stage. Oh, the fans here in China are excited for this squad. And keep in mind, we do have the potential for a two-time champ. They want to be able, with this roster, to finally grab a win as well. They've come close before. They're no strangers to the TI stage. But this is going to be a big test for them early in this tournament because their opponents are definitely going to be tough ones in secret. And as Grant did mention, this is not a matchup that we are strangers to. We have seen it before. Let's take a look at their opponents. Folks, if you asked a lot of people when they were actually headed to TI who they thought was going to be able to take TI9, Secret was a team that they would say very, very quickly taking the stage right now is going to be that squad. Hoping to pull it down. Puppy going to be leading them out right now. We're very excited to see what they're going to be able to do here at TI, playing up against EG, but also we're excited to hear what they have to say about this series and about TI as a whole. Luckily for us, Casey had an opportunity to talk to Team Secret.
Midwan, have you ever been pregnant?
No.
Casey, have you ever been pregnant?
I have.
We got the questions answered. We can leave.
I'm gonna need my seat back.
No, you don't.
No?
We'll keep it this way.
Okay, fine. I want to hear a little bit about how the team has evolved because last year at TI8, that was the best finish that you've had. So I want to know from you what has changed and how do you feel coming into TI9? What do you think makes everything feel a little bit different?
I guess the difference between now and before would be we like each other more, I would say. We don't really have any personal issues between each other. We just talk about games, and it's easier.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah. Everybody understands what they're supposed to be doing in a team. We have a really good chemistry together, and I've been kind of like searching for that exact chemistry between players so they kind of like mesh. But like in the past, I've had a lot of issues with people just wanting to take over. Like, you know, it just happens naturally. You know, Kuro wanted to take also over, so like it just gets weird between people. And like there's this Fly perhaps who wants to take over. There's a lot of people taking over here. It just gets clashy. It just gets annoying. So people start hating each other and all that stuff. But that's only like related to me. But a lot of the times you won't find out until you play with a team member, and then you understand like, oh, he wants to be the most important guy.
How would you say that Puppy has changed as a leader in the time that you've played for him?
I think when I first joined Secret was. I would say he wasn't that good at first. He wasn't the captain of the team for a long time, and sometimes he doubted himself too. He wasn't sure about stuff, and he needs to gain more experience back into his blood, knowing what's the best, you know. Sometimes I believe in him, so I just kept on playing with him.
You agree with that?
Well, you know, tough times during that time, you know.
Yeah.
TI6 wasn't fun.
I know.
Yeah, a lot of doubt in that era of time. I mean, Dota's our life. It starts oozing into everything you do. You don't succeed in Dota, you're wrong in Dota, you're wrong in life.
You tweeted in all caps at Ice Frog a few months ago.
Yeah.
Did that make you feel better? I feel like he...
It actually does.
Yeah?
Sometimes you actually just want to shout at the gods, you know, like...
That's true.
What is this shit, you know? You don't know.
Exactly.
Like...
I want to switch a little bit to how you do think that you've been playing this season. Specific to VP, you both are neck and neck as far as how you're doing in the ratings with DPC. So how are you different? What do you think is the biggest reason that you can be more successful than VP at TI?
We can be more successful because we can just be better than them. And it's just weird because like in Dota, it's if you're correct, you win. If you're not, you don't. So in order to win TI, something magical needs to happen. Like everything needs to fit, everything needs to align. For now, I feel like we have a lot of those alignments going in our favor, and that's why we can probably be better than VP.
Pretty much everybody we've talked to has said that TI seems to be different for a lot of reasons. It's bigger than all the other tournaments, but also the mentality of it seems to be different, where anything can happen for any team. Knowing that you're #1 in DPC coming in, does that mean anything to you at all because it's TI, or do you use that as a source of confidence as you start group stage?
Nah, it's like doesn't matter. We've all been there. You know, we've seen it many times before. Being a dominant team in the year does not mean that you will win TI. So we don't care.
Yeah, it's true. You might be a major winner, but when it comes to TI, you might be nothing, you know. You never know.
Yeah, we're losers. Only if we win. We're not losers. Second place, you're a loser. Good night, everyone.
What is this, late night? Jesus.
Good night, everyone.
Yay!
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Thank you, guys.
All jokes aside, I think that's one of those interviews where you actually look at it and you hear a lot. I mean, you straight up hear the idea of doubt creeping in after being a player that's seen so much success. And that's something that I feel like is so crucial to somewhat rebuild, figure out what was going wrong, taking that experience and then building up a new empire, a new dynasty, if you will. And let's talk about some of the members that do make that up, Tsunami.
Yeah, I think the hipster choice that I want to talk about is Nisha, because, you know, Yapzor, Puppy, Mid1, Zai, they all have storied histories. Nisha, on the other hand, he's a bit of a newcomer, and I love it whenever Puppy takes these European carry proteges and he tries to mold them. Before Nisha joined Team Secret, his share of prize pool winnings, he had made around $25,000 USD, and he'd been playing since 2015. And since joining Team Secret, he's made like over $300,000. So it's all about if you can find this potential and you can just mold it and harness it, that's what makes Puppy such a great captain.
Yeah, and I feel like that's one of the things that's always talked about is the idea that he can find this new talent and foster this new talent. But then when we hear everything that is going on in that interview, the idea of figuring out that right team chemistry, finding a player who doesn't necessarily want to take over or take that leadership role. Do you think that it's more important for a player like Puppy to actually foster new talent because that new talent goes, okay, I see what you can do. I'm going to follow the marching.
Well, I think so, right? We saw from that interview, as you say, you know, Puppy, he likes that dynamic where he is sort of the powerful figure and he's able to bring people in, sort of train them up. But at the same time, what I thought was really interesting about that interview was the fact that, you know, Mid1 was sat there with Puppy and he was still able to sort of talk about the vulnerabilities and reflect on some of the tougher times in the past, which I feel like in previous iterations of Secret, I can't imagine Puppy's teammates sitting there next to him and, you know, calling him out. But it just shows sort of how the dynamic has changed and that nowadays Secret is, they've sort of humbled themselves. And I think that really shows in the group stage, in the way that they're playing, the way that they're able to take Nisha, you know, so this quiet carry player, and even given the confidence in some of the games in the groups to put him in the mid lane. Say, hey, well, Mid1, we're going to step you to the side. Nisha comes in on his sniper. We've seen him in previous lands do it on the Deucer. They have that flexibility, and Nisha, as you say, a new player, is already showing that, you know, Puppy's confidence is sort of driven down to him. It's this new dynamic, a new level across the board between Secret, which is bringing them to a new height.
Yeah, and I want to go back 100% Puppy thing. He is the leader. Like we actually talked to him at MDL Paris, and he said he is the leader. I mean, that's how you lead a team. Like, you don't need all those voices in the back. Like, he is the leader. If you don't trust in him, you don't trust in the team.
He had mentioned that basically what he had said in the interview, that sometimes Kuro felt like leading, sometimes Fly felt like leading. And his theory was, why do you want to lead? Why don't you just help me become a better leader?
Exactly.
I think that that's really important, but for people who maybe haven't gotten to watch as much Dota and want to see behind the curtain a little bit more, when you talk about a game like Dota, obviously everybody needs to be chattering. You need to be hearing information. You need eyes all over the place. You need to be communicating with everybody. How does a dynamic like that really work for a leader? If it is an in-game shot caller, Owen, like how does that necessarily work? How do you actually rely on your other teammates to diffuse information as well?
Well, I think at the same time, less information is also more information when you talk about that. It's for Puppy, he finds these players that, you know, they're not going to say too much. They're not going to be screaming, you know, get Roshan, you know, calling out all these plays that sometimes are necessary, or sometimes, you know, it's almost certainly felt between the team members. It doesn't need to go spoken.
I
and
think,
players like Nisha are going to nail that perfectly. You don't see Nisha on the cams yelling his head off the whole game. He's going to barely say a few words, but that lack of communication is also the right amount of communication.
He just wants to, Puppy wants to find something he can just wind up, and then he just lets them on their way. You know, you wind up mid one, you give him the potential, and he's going to take over the game. Same thing with Nisha.
Yeah, and I would say going back to the talking, if you look at, this is one of those games when I look at the coaches, right? I think MSS said it best, the Goons. You have Bulba and you have Sunby. These two are some of like the oldest kind of voices in NA Dota, and now they're going to head-to-head. And if you probably told him that back at like TI3 era or something, Bull would have been like, no, Sunby's one of the worst players I've ever met, and now he's like, he's on stage with one of the best teams. Like, it is what it is.
Well, I want to take it a step further as well, Tsunami. When we actually look at these squads, they are no strangers to each other. A lot of these players have had interactions with each other, not only as opponents.
They've been on each other's teams many a time. Yeah. There's a lot of crossover between these two squads.
Bulba was a player.
Bulba was a player, yeah. Everything like Fly, S4, and then on the side of Secret, Zai, obviously your favorite North American export, pretty much.
I mean, Zai, trust me, like Zai, EG is still super close with Zai. Zai is just one of those guys, like, you actually can't hate. You watch his stream, this guy is just like the nicest guy, the high skilled
listen
players.
to his music and you don't want to listen to theremins.
All right, this guy's over here listening to top 40 radio hits.
That's a very cultured sound.
Sure,
you know?
sure. And EG's a very cultured team. We talked a lot about Secret, we talked a lot about the crossover, but these are your boys, Grant.
Whoa. No, I'm just kidding. EG, oh, for sure. I mean, I've known these guys for a long time. I knew Arteezy probably back 2008 when he was losing middle matchups to 747 and stuff. And, I mean, you just look. I mean, he has grown so much, Arteezy specifically. And, I mean, it's hard, right? Because he's pretty much carried NA Dota, like, on his back from, like, a Reddit point of things where if they do bad, Arteezy's the one getting blamed. And it's tough being that way.
Did I ever tell you my Arteezy story?
No, you didn't, Rich. Let's hear it.
So we got a little bit of time before the game gets started. My first Dota event that I went to as a fan, I was going to watch Dota, and I was a huge fanboy of Fear. All I wanted to do was get a picture with Fear.
Been there.
And I finally find him. I walk up to him. I'm like, "Hi, sir. Can I have a picture?" And he's like, "Yeah, okay, let's do it." I'm taking the picture, and all of a sudden, this dude puts his arm around me and takes me away from Fear. And I have a picture with this dude in Fear, and I'm livid. I'm so mad at this dude. And I show my friend. I'm like, "This dude ruined my picture with Fear." It was Arteezy.
I mean,
I'm still a little upset about it. I really wanted that picture with Fear. Arteezy came in, he ruined the picture for me.
I mean, to be fair, Fear is a TI winner, you know. So
that's
true.
If you're a fan of Fear, I've got a picture to show you after the panel.
Don't worry about it.
Ask to see picture of Fear. You know the other thing that I want to see. It's going to be this game. We're getting ready to actually jump in. This is one of the most anticipated matchups of the day. It is going to be EG going up against Secret. Two front runners to potentially take the entire tournament, going to be going head-to-head. The loser of this drops down to that elimination bracket where it's really going to get saucy. Now, I do want to actually jump in right now and see what is going to happen. The players are now ready. Let's see who's going to take this one.
Team Secret versus Evil Geniuses. Game 1.
That's right. As Rich pointed out, this has got to be one of the most anticipated matchups. Evil Geniuses versus Team Secret. And what better man to be able to break down the strategic element of the game with BSJ and I than PPD. Peter, you've had a long history in North American Dota. You've been heralded as one of the great captains to be able to lead teams. You heard Puppy's philosophy on leadership. You heard his experience, you know, like having personalities who try and take over the leadership role. Have you ever experienced that?
Some of the players I relate to the most are captains. Unfortunately, I'll never have the chance to play with them because we're too similar of guys. And I think Nisha, right, coming into Team Secret, he's this this quiet youngster who doesn't have a lot of previous biases. Sure, he's been playing for a while, but never at this kind of a level. So he comes in, stays quiet, hits his neutral creeps, carries the game. You know, he doesn't have all these previous biases. He doesn't want to be a leader. He just wants to listen.
That's the kind of player you're looking for, right? To
Sometimes,
bring under your wing.
if that's who you need, and that's what Puppy needs on his team. And getting behind a captain and working together as a team, having one direction throughout the game, will take you, very, very far.
Yeah, I've been on teams where there's under-communication, not enough being said amongst the team. There's not a clear-cut leader. And then I've also been on teams where everyone wants to say their part. And if you have 5 people talking in the middle of a game, it can really convolute the communications. And sometimes you just need that guy, like you said, to be silent, do his part, and you just know what to expect from him mainly. Like, there can be a lot done in Dota that needs to be left unsaid. Like, that's how I look at it. And that's why there's a nice balance of these quiet players, reserved, as well as these vocal captains.
And the reason why we practice is so that eventually, the captain's philosophy about how to play Dota becomes second nature to the players on the team. And then sometimes the captain, he doesn't even have to do the leading, as long as the players who are speaking up, are on the same page. But when everybody's on different pages, that's when things get crazy. But we got a nice draft here. I've been excited to break down these drafts. The Team Secret and Puppy, they're a little bit tough to break down sometimes because, I don't know what's going on with Team Secret drafts sometimes. We saw some.
Did you guys look at Team Secret going into this tournament? As they are the front runners and everybody's been looking at them, did you try and study them and their drafting philosophy?
Well, I mean, there was all these patches before TI, and you didn't really know what people were going to do. So pretty much the only info you had was from the scrims that you played and a lot of, matchmaking pubs. You try to identify some of the powerful heroes in the meta. Team Secret, they're pretty private about their scrim opponents. We didn't get any games against them, unfortunately. And but when you're at a tournament, you're at this group stage, and after day 1, you see, oh, who's 6-0? What are they doing?
And from your point of view, what is Team Secret doing that is making them look so good from DPC and now to TI? Just continued success.
I think Team Secret's the most individually talented team at this tournament. Their players seem to just understand what they're capable of doing in game and are capable enough to execute it in game as well. So I think they're just they're all making really fast and good decisions. And as long as their draft is on point, I think they have a really good shot of going further. And I think that Secret OG matchup in the next round will be really exciting.
So you have already got it locked in your head. Secret's gonna body Evil Geniuses.
I mean, I think Secret's the better team, but EG, like they have these moments of brilliance where they have these series where they play super well. And Secret sometimes, sometimes they get this weird puppy draft, and you're like, what is going on here? Like, and sometimes it just doesn't connect.
Yeah. BSJ, from your perspective, what is EG doing differently? They had a rough start to this group stage, right?
Yeah, I think at the start they were just too predictable, and I also think they came into the tournament not exactly on par with the meta, quite honestly. It feels like over the course of the group stage, they kind of did what PPD said, where who's 6-0, what are they doing in this tournament? And they kind of just started stealing the other heroes. That is honestly kind of a Bulba special, not to be a flamer here, but they are skilled enough to the point where they know these heroes well enough, and they're able to just be like, oh, I'll take a little bit of that strategy, a little bit of that one, and apply it to our own game. And I think I like their opening here. You have Leshrac, a hero that is flex pick, but I think Sumail's been more than impressive on this hero so far.
Leshrac is one of those heroes that I identify as an Ench killer. This Ench hero is super powerful in lane, around like level 5 to level 6. Also, you just run out of regen. You have to leave the lane against her. But Lesh is one of these heroes with, lots and lots of heavy magical damage, lots of physical damage through Edict, and he can kill, some Yules into stun. Like, sometimes if Ench isn't tanky enough, she just drops. And 1 or 2 Ench deaths, and before the first 15 minutes, that hero just falls right off a cliff.
Do you think that's why that last ban from Team Secret came in the first phase, the Gyrocopter, another one of those Enchantress killers? They're just trying to protect this first pick?
Yeah, Gyrocopter is a good Ench killer, but I think maybe the Lesh is even better. And like we said, the Lesh is a little bit more flex. You don't exactly know what role or lane it's going in. For EGs, it's one of Sumail's best mid heroes, and as they are on second pick, they're going to be able to hold that final pick to decide if Lesh is going to be mid for Sumail, or if they're going to maybe put it on support or a side lane or somewhere else.
They're going to be able to get that final twist that could surprise Team Secret.
Lesh is a very versatile hero, and on second pick, it's really nice to have these heroes that can play multiple roles.
Yeah, I like to have a natural. He says Enchantress killer. The one that supplies all the damage, that is mobile. I mentioned SF as well. We've seen teams deal with it that way too. It's just a hero that naturally pushes out their lane and then will easily rotate quickly to that Enchantress, where it's him +1 is enough to threaten the Enchantress. And I think that's a core part of Enchantress, where if she can't play the map with one hero missing the way she wants to play, or maybe she has to itemize 1 or 2 items like a hood or a force staff, It just makes her game a little less luxurious, but the fact is, it still could be a position 5 Enchantress. That's like the power of this hero as a first pick, the flex idea.
I would not expect that to come out in this big of a game. I have played some 5-inch in my days, but this hero is just so powerful in the offlane that he just demands attention. And with this Shaker, he's going to have that early fissure block to get his lane back. I think once Ench gets level 3, she just becomes unkillable with the 2 points in either Untouchable or Nature's Attendance.
And now we do have our 5 position from Team Secret. Chen with the synergy of the Enchantress as well off that healing amplification.
And because Ench is so strong in lane, it's eventually going to free up the Shaker to start rotating throughout the map, kind of having free reign to get summoned around by Chen. Maybe they'll do some tri-laning. Maybe he'll gank mid. They'll be able to hopefully ease off the pressure of this 22 or this last pick from EG, with because they kind of have to expose their mid on this 8-9 pick.
I think they're going to have some trouble with the creeps in the early game so far with Evil Geniuses. Yeah, in the mid game they have ET, Leshrac with the spread damage.
Yeah, Windrunner is also an Ench Slayer, right? In the mid game, we also have seen Windrunner be ran as a 4 position. I know Crit has played this hero quite a bit. We've seen these archer type heroes, these Maranas, Windrunner, Lina, Leshrac